Our worships and namaz. Ritual prayer. What is ibadat, worship? Worship is to observe the commandments and prohibitions of Allahu Ta'ala, who created us and each and everything that exists, who keeps us in existence all the time, who protects us from visible and invisible calamities, who bestows upon us various blessings every moment. It is to wish to be like the prophets, the awliya, dear slaves of Allahu Ta'ala, and the scholars, who have attained the love of Allahu Ta'ala. It is to follow them. It is a duty of humanity for people to thank Allahu Ta'ala, who sends innumerable blessings to them. This is a duty commanded by reason. But people have faulty minds. Their reasoning is imperfect. They cannot find the things which may be thanking Allahu Ta'ala. The duties to thank and respect, unless they are declared by Allahu Ta'ala, may be insulting in fact. Now, the duties of people, done by the heart, the tongue and the body, which they must perform to thank Allahu Ta'ala, have been communicated by Allahu Ta'ala and they have been made public by His beloved Prophet. The duties of slavery which Allahu Ta'ala communicates and commands are called Islam. Thanking Allahu Ta'ala is possible only by following the path brought by His Prophet. Allahu Ta'ala will not accept or like any thanks or worships that are outside, not compliant to this path. For, there are many things which human beings assume good and beautiful, however Islam does not like them and declares that they are ugly. Thus, reasonable people must follow Muhammad alayhi salam to thank Allahu Ta'ala and worship Allahu Ta'ala. He who follows Muhammad alayhi salam is a Muslim. Worshipping is thanking Allahu Ta'ala, that is, following Muhammad alayhi salam. Islam is of two parts. 1. Those things which must be believed by the heart. 38. 2. Worships which must be done by the heart and by the body. The most superior of the physical worships is namaz. It is fard for every mukallaf Muslim to perform 5 daily prayers. Who is called mukallaf? Discreet men and women who have reached the age of puberty are called mukallaf. Mukallafs are responsible of observing the commandments and prohibitions of Allahu Ta'ala. In our religion, a mukallaf person is commanded to have iman, faith, first, then to do worshipping. In addition, mukallafs must abstain from harams and makruhs which are forbidden. Aql, intellect, is an understanding power. It has been created to tell good from evil. Intellect is like a meter. It differentiates the better one of 2 good things, and the worse one of 2 bad things. A reasonable person is not only one who realizes what is good or bad, he also prefers the good and avoids the bad. Aql, intellect, is like an eye, and Islam is like light. Our eyes cannot see objects in the dark. The age of puberty virtually begins when a boy is over 12. There are symptoms of a boy's puberty. If these symptoms are not seen on him, he is regarded as still being in puberty until he turns 15 years old. The age of puberty virtually begins when a girl is over 9. If the symptoms of puberty are not seen on a girl over 9 years old, she is counted as still being in puberty until the age of 15 is transcended. Af'âl-i Mukallafîn, Ahkâm-i islâmiyya. The commandments and prohibitions communicated by Islam are called Ahkâm-i Sharia or Ahkâm-i islâmiyya. They are also called Af'âl-i Mukallafîn. Af'âl-i Mukallafîn consists of 8 aspects: fard, wajib, sunnat, mustahib, mubah, haram, makruh, mafsad. 1. Fard. Things which Allahu Ta'ala clearly and plainly commands in the Quran al-Karim are called fard. Not to perform fards are haram, forbidden. Anyone who does not believe in a fard or does not deem it important becomes a disbeliever. Fards are of 2 types. 39. Fard-i-ain. They must be done by each and every mukallaf Muslim, such as having iman, performing ritual ablution, performing ghusl, ritual cleansing of the body, performing 5 daily prayers, fasting in the month of Ramadan, giving zakat if one becomes wealthy, going to Hajj. 32 fards and 54 fards are well known. Fard-i-kifaya. When several other Muslims or only one Muslim does this kind of fard, it no longer becomes an obligation for others to perform it. To respond to a Muslim who greets you, in a manner prescribed by Islam, to wash the corpse, to perform janazah, funeral, namaz, to memorize all the Quran al-Karim, to make jihad, to learn religious and scientific knowledge more than you need in your businesses are all examples of fard-i-kifayas. 2. Wajib. They are commandments that must be performed as if they were fards. Their dalil, proof, evidence, proof text, in the Quran al-Karim are not as explicit as fards. They are established with an ambiguous dalil. It is wajib to perform witr and Eid prayers, to perform the qurban if one is rich, to give the fitrah. Wajibs are like fards. To omit a wajib is taram and makruh. He who denies the fact that something is wajib does not become a disbeliever. But he who does not do a wajib deserves to be tormented in hell. 3 Sunnat. Things which Allahu Ta'ala doesn't clearly command but which are acts our Prophet praised or which he habitually did or which he did not prohibit, though seeing them done, are called sunnat. It is kufr, disbelief, to dislike the sunnat. It is not sinful not to do them, as long as you like them. However, anyone who omits them constantly and without a good excuse will deserve to be deprived of their rewards and he will deserve to be reprehended. For example, it is sunnah to say adhan, to say iqamat, to perform namaz in jamara congregation, to use miswak in ablution, to give a feast at the night when one gets married, to have one's child circumcised. Sunnats are of two types. Sunnat-i muakkada. They are strong sunnats which our Master, the Prophet, alayhi salam, performed constantly and seldom omitted. For example, the sunnat prayer of morning time, the first and last sunnat prayers of early afternoon, the sunnat prayer of evening time, the last sunnat prayer of night time. These sunnats are never omitted without a good excuse. Anyone who dislikes them becomes a disbeliever. 40. Sunnat-i ghair-i muakkada. They are acts which our Master, the Prophet, alayhi salam, performed from time to time for the purpose of worshipping. For example, the first sunnats, each consisting of 4 rakats, are the late afternoon and the night prayers. It is not sinful to frequently omit them. However, it causes reprehension and being deprived of intercession if one always omits them without a good excuse. Sunnat-i kifaya. They are the sunnats which lapse from other Muslims if they are done by a few Muslims. For example, giving salam, saying salamun alaikum, or observing idhkaf. It is sunnat to recite the basmala before performing a ritual ablution, eating or drinking, or any other blessed action. 4 Mustahab. It is also called mandab or adab. It is sunnat-i ghair-i muakkada. They are things which are done and liked by our Master, the Prophet, alayhi salam, even if he performed them once or twice in his life. For example, to name a newborn child when he is 7 days old, to perform an akikah sacrifice as being thankful for the blessing of a son or daughter, to wear nice clothes, to use nice fragrances. Those who commit these are given many thawab rewards. If omitted, there is no sin. Also, there is no deprivation of intercession. 5 Mubah. Acts neither ordered nor prohibited. That is, they are things not communicated as sinful or reward-giving. Things that are mubah earn one sins or thawab depending on the intention of a person who does them. For example, sleeping, eating various halal foods, wearing various halal clothes. If these things are done with an intention to obey Islam, to carry out Islam's rules, they will bring rewards. Such as eating or drinking with the intention of being healthy and doing worships. 6 Haram. They are things which have been clearly prohibited by Allahu Ta'ala in the Quran al-Karim. To do haram acts or to use haram things are definitely forbidden. person who says halal for something haram or haram for something halal becomes a kafir, disbeliever. It is fard and brings many rewards to avoid things that are haram. Harams are of two types. Haram li-ainahi. Murder, adultery, sodomy, gambling, drinking wine and every kind of alcoholic beverages, lying, stealing, eating pork, blood and carrion, women going out while their heads, arms, legs are unveiled, all these are haram and gravely sinful. If a person 41 recites the basmala before committing these sins, or believes that they are halal, or does not attach importance to the fact that they have been made haram by Allahu Ta'ala, becomes a disbeliever. If he commits them although he believes that they are haram and he is afraid of punishment, he does not become a disbeliever. However, he will deserve to be tormented in hell. If he insists on committing harams and does not repent, that may cause him to lose his iman, faith, at his last breath. Haram li ghairi. These things are halal in essence. However, they have become haram due to others' rights. For example, to enter another person's garden and eat the fruits of the trees without having the permission of the owner, to steal and use his household goods and money, to usurp trusted goods, to earn money by ways of bribery, interest or gambling. If anyone who commits them says the basmala or says they are halal, he does not become a disbeliever. For they are the rights of that person, he has the right to recover them. On the Day of Judgment, the rewards of 700 rak'ah ritual prayers which were performed in jama'ah congregation will be taken by Allahu Ta'ala for rights of the weight of 5.5 oats, in silver, and he will give these rewards to the owner of the rights. Abstaining from harams brings more thawab than worshipping. Hence, we must learn harams and avoid them. 7 Makruh. They are things which Allahu Ta'ala and Muhammad alayhi salam dislike. These things lessen the rewards of worships. Makruhs are of two types. Makruh tahrimi. Makruh tahrimi is the omission of a wajib, and it is close to haram. Committing them requires torment. They are things like performing a ritual prayer during the period of sunrise, that of sunset and the period when the sun is at zawal midday, the time at which the sun leaves its highest point from the horizon, and after which the time of early afternoon prayer begins. Anyone who deliberately does makruh tahrimis will become rebellious and sinful. He will deserve to be tormented in hell. It is wajib to re-perform the namaz for a person who omits wajibs or commits makruh tahrimis in that namaz. If he commits these acts mistakenly or as a result of forgetfulness, then it is necessary to make the sajda isahw, 2 sajdas done as soon as namaz is over. Before giving the salams, or after salams to the right, or even after salams to both sides, in order to have some errors that may have 42 been done while performing namaz forgiven. Makruh tanzihi. They are acts that are close to mubah, that is halal, or acts that are better for you not to do them than to do them. Such as omitting the acts that are sunnat i muakkada or mustahib. 8 Mufsid. In our religion, they are things which nullify, make invalid a legitimate act or a started worship such as iman, namaz, marriage, hajj, zakat, shopping. For example, it is disbelief to blaspheme Allahu Ta'ala or the Quran al-Karim. These acts nullify iman. A laugh while performing namaz nullifies the ablution and the namaz. During fasting, to eat or to drink something knowingly nullifies the fast. Those who carry out wajibs and sunnats and those who abstain from harams and makruhs are given ajr, that is thawab, reward, blessing. Those who commit harams and makruhs and those who do not carry out fards and wajibs will be sinful. The thawab of abstaining from a haram is many folds more than the thawab of carrying out a fard. The thawab of performing a fard is more than the thawab of abstaining from a makruh. The thawab of abstaining from a makruh is more than the thawab of performing a sunnat. The mubahs liked by Allahu Ta'ala are called krat and Hasanat, although those who commit these are given thawab, this thawab is less than the thawab of performing a sunnat. 43. The enemies of Islam. The enemies of Islam are attacking the books of the Allah's sunnat in order to destroy Islam. Allahu Ta'ala declared in the 82nd ayat of Maida Surah of the Quran al-Kareem, purporting